For years, people have reported results that skeptics dismissed as nothing more than stories. Now, 4 formal studies are being prepared, and they could force a very uncomfortable answer. Can reported changes in headaches, inflammation, sleep, and visible skin aging survive controlled testing? Patty Greer and Chris Burris from C60 EVO are here to explain what will be measured, how placebo will be ruled out, and what happens if the evidence confirms what users have been saying. Patty and Chris, welcome back to the Next News Network.
Thank you.
Gary, thank you for having us.
It's great to have you guys back. Thank you for your support of our network. I want to get into the slide, and I also want to get my daily dose in. So let's start with the question as we pour. So we have the supplement industry. It has a trust problem. I mean, you guys know that. Consumers hear powerful testimonials, but many have also spent money on products that never move beyond stories. And as I pour my delicious C60 into my teaspoon here. So why is C60 EVO choosing now to put its most repeated user experiences into formal clinical trials? And headaches, inflammation, sleep, why are these 4 problems that you chose to test first?
Yeah, well, I think maybe the answer to this question boils down to Patty and I are just very weird, and we chose to operate a very weird supplement company because most supplement companies don't research, and even fewer supplement companies actually publish that research. We published in 2024, 2025, and 2020. Well, we have already submitted the paper for this year. So why these particular studies? I think it's just the consistent testimonials and the very powerful. This molecule works at the level of the mitochondria. And if you're helping the mitochondria, because you have 50 to 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, except for blood cells, they actually have 0, and your brain and neurons have 2 million. If you're helping the mitochondria, and the way we describe it is we're reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria, then you should have systemic benefits. You should have what we have, which are head-to-toe testimonials. This, from a marketing perspective, great for science, right? We can do all these tests, but from a marketing perspective, can be pretty challenging because people don't understand. Like, for instance, our most consistent testimonials, people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. This is already outside of anybody's paradigm of understanding. I've never heard of anything that you can take in the morning, positively impact focus and energy during the day, and then positively impact sleep that night. So we're in this unique situation where it can be challenging to get this product into more people's hands. And so we've decided to do these 4 clinical trials because they're the things that will probably get it into the most hands possible.
So headaches, systemic inflammation, poor sleep, visible skin aging sound like 4 completely different problems. Your boss theory says oxidative stress, mitochondrial resilience may be a common thread. So explain the connection and what you believe one underlying mechanism could be relevant across all 4 studies.
Well, I've got this slide here, right? So this is discusses and kind of walks us through the boss theory. Stands for buffering oxidative stress system. What gives credibility to this theory is peer-reviewed published research shows the ESS60 molecule inside of the mitochondria. We also know from way back in the 90s that this molecule can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles. I'll try and keep this brief. It's a little geeky, but a healthy mitochondria is the power source of every cell in your body. And like every power source, there is a negative byproduct. And you can just imagine your car going down the road has exhaust. In the case of mitochondria, it's reactive oxygen species. The way I picture these is if they're left to their own devices, they're like little bumper cars running around, and everything they smack into, they cause rust, right? Or they cause oxidative stress and oxidative damage. And that's a bad situation. Like so many biological systems in our body, there's a way to manage that, and that is with the internal glutathione and melatonin. And I like to pause here. Melatonin is the sleep hormone, our most consistent testimonial, and one of our studies is about sleep. So there's some nice parallels. So here in a healthy mitochondria, you can see that those reactive oxygen species, we kind of pictured them as this tranquil blue color because they're not going to run around and do damage. They've been managed by the glutathione and melatonin. But what happens when you stress a mitochondria? Of course, begs the question, How do you stress the mitochondria? I point out, if you're alive in modern society, you have stressed mitochondria. It's smoking, drinking, smog, traffic, tough, the EMF radiation coming off of your device. All of these things will stress your mitochondria. And at that point, they start producing more reactive oxygen species than can be managed by that internal glutathione and melatonin. And that's when extra reactive oxygen species will run around like little bumper cars and cause all that damage. And that's where the ESS60 molecule comes in. Again, peer-reviewed published research. It's in the mitochondria. It's holding on to up to 6 of these negatively charged particles, so they can't run around like little bumper cars and do damage. And then when that mitochondria can replenish the glutathione and replenish the melatonin, then it can manage that glutathione and melatonin can manage those reactive oxygen species properly. And that is why we say this molecule is the boss of buffering oxidative stress system. And we, again, believe we're reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria. Which explains, right, again, if you have 50 to 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, 2 million in your brain cells, then you come back here and you can say, well, why are they doing, this explains why we're doing a frequent and severe headache study, why we're doing an HSCRP. By the way, HSCRP stands for high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It's a marker, a blood marker, fairly inexpensive to do a blood test to get, and it's associated with cardiovascular diseases and cancers. Next is a formalized sleep trial. We've already done an ad hoc sleep trial. And then finally, our Skin Renew Duo for the Glow and Age Spot study. We're really excited that we're going to be able to run all 4 of these studies.
This is exciting stuff. And I know we've been talking about these studies. I'm anxiously awaiting them. Patty, I want to ask you about your next slide regarding frequent severe headaches can disrupt work, sleep, relationships, and an entire family's routine. I know that in the past, when my wife would go down with a headache, it would just be debilitating. I've seen it happen to family members, myself included. Waking up with a headache and my entire day is ruined until I just, start bombarding it with ibuprofen and acetaminophen and hopes that I can get into the day, get started. But many people are cycling through the temporary fixes like I just explained. So what are you hearing from users, and what would the study need to measure before you could say that improvement is meaningful? I mean, not simply like a placebo effect, but a good week or a change in someone's routine.
The testimonials I've read are consistent. Everybody has either had them or has somebody in their family that's dealt with these headaches. And you are one of my favorite examples because you were starting to get one on one of our live shows.
That's true, yeah.
And you said you started seeing the halo.
Yep.
And you had run out of your EVO. And at the beginning of the show, you said, oh, I wish I wasn't out. I said, turn your bottle upside down, and at least you'll get another shot. And luckily I did that before the show because I saw you lick out of the cap, and all of a sudden you stopped the show and said, I was getting one of the big ones, and now it's gone.
Well, that's a moment that's been documented in real time, and you explained it exactly as that. I've been working, rushing through the day, and then suddenly I'm in a high pressure situation. I'm on deadline. I've got an interview to do. Blood pressure. God knows what else is going on inside my body, and then that aurora, shows up in my vision in the middle of the interview, and I saw it happening. And we were actually talking about a migraine study, similar to this conversation now. And then I took just a tiny bit. And it was immediately gone. Like it was like a preemptive attack on the migraine. And I know that people who suffer from migraines, I know for a fact they know what that means when they see that. I know what it means. And if you're a frequent migraine sufferer, then when that happens, you start to panic because you know something really bad is about to happen. But the fact that we were able to, at least for myself personally, was able to push back on that in that very moment was remarkable. It was probably one of the coolest things I think that ever happened on live television. So.
Oh yeah, it was good. And this is all it takes is a spoon and this, which is quite amazing. And it's such a breakthrough molecule, even though it won the Nobel Prize in 1996 for its excellence in almost every application tested. They didn't know back then that they were going to be highly successful helping people and pets feel so much better. So it was only 2012 when we supplied product to the Paris Bhakti study, BAATI, for those who want to look it up. And I've heard a lot of people claim that some other product, random thing from China, is giving these results. No, it came from our lab, C60 EVO. The formula has two ingredients. It's got organic olive oil and the ESS60 molecule that won the Nobel Prize. So be mindful that you want to make sure you're getting ESS60 because you're going to get these results. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It's a coincidence that everybody taking this product has had amazing recovery from those terrible headaches, including the lady that helps my 97-year-old mom. And, you know, I've talked about my mom every show at 97, still reading thick novels. She does her C60 EVO every day. She also puts her facial serum on every day, and her skin is as good as mine, and I'm in my 70s, feeling like, dang, my skin is getting so much better. But it's because this molecule really is a breakthrough remedy. And a lot of people that watch your show, they've never heard of, you know, the molecule at all. We're just kind of coming through the wall. But the reason we are so prominent online right now, because some people are like, why do we see you everywhere?
Yeah.
It's because we're the only ones doing it. And it makes such a difference. I am also very much Team Bobby and loving. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I even have one of these that says Bobby for president or Kennedy for president. So that's how far I go back. But he received 3 collection sets from us. And I wish he was promoting, but he's not allowed to. So he's being mindful, but I can tell you that he probably doesn't have migraines. And that guy's got stress. Oh, my God, the thing with Dana Bash. I love seeing him interrupt as much as her. And I saw you present it on your show yesterday.
Oh, it's priceless, yeah.
Priceless. But you know, if we don't build our brain power right now, preventative, C60 EVO, so easy, this and a spoon before noon. If we don't start getting our brains ready, we're either not going to be able to really help our neighbors and family that just didn't get it, you know, but it's so in everybody's face right now what the truth is.
And again, I take my dosage every single morning. I use the face creams too, so I can stay young looking. I got to be looking good on camera, you know.
That's right.
Because I want the message to persist and not my physical attributes. So I take it every day, and I want to add. You mentioned dogs and pets, and I'm going to make an announcement here today. Our family is now a proud owner of a pet. We have a little puppy dog. My kids are loving it, and they named him Hiccup. And I fought to name him Peppino. So, you know, I call him Peppino. The kids call him Hiccup. And so that's his middle name.
What kind of dog?
A Bichon Free. His cutest little thing, tiny little guy, and it's really just bringing a new level of joy into our family that I never really knew existed. So I'm excited to know that, you know, your C60 products, C60 EVO products, actually can help pets as well. So that's, I mean, he's a puppy right now, so I'm not sure if it's appropriate to feed it. He's not into a position where he might be needing that kind of thing. But I'm curious, you know, 90% longer in lab animals. So, you know, you start feeding a puppy a little bit of this stuff every day now, like what kind of outcome will we be seeing?
Yeah, well, so one, often people don't want to give it to puppies because they already have enough energy, right? So all we needed to do is chew one more shoe. So let's give it a little bit of C60 EVO. It tends to, the testimonies we have for kind of elder pets are pretty phenomenal. And actually this ties into the next slide. You'll see over here, we've got this dog study that's related to HSCRP. So this stands for high sensitivity C-reactive protein. It's an inflammatory marker. Again, I mentioned typically associated with cardiovascular diseases, with cancers. We've got one practitioner who came to us and said, I don't care what your condition, like if you're unhealthy or healthy, male, female, whatever your situation is, the product is reducing elevated hsCRP numbers into normal ranges in 4 to 8 weeks. Additionally, it's having an improvement between 20 and 60% in sleep and HRV. And HRV stands for heart rate variability. It's a measure of your body's ability to manage stress and where you are in the moment in being able to handle stress. And there is a study that was published on beagles with this molecule reducing the hsCRP numbers in beagles. So if you think about, we have to be very careful talking about inflammation. These are the reason you'll see we do have our disclaimer down here, right? So these statements haven't been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. But these are the exciting reasons that we're actually starting these trials.
So what would happen then if I started giving? Okay, so maybe he's out of the puppy phase, right? Will my dog live longer?
So
I mean, based on the study,
question. Yeah, longevity studies are going to, especially on kind of a larger, longer-lived mammal, are unlikely. If you think about a human, if we were to extend human life by 90%, the average human would live to 152. That study will just never. By the way, that's average, right? If my first thought is, oh, oldest human, 152. No, there's a bell curve around 152. So people would be living much longer. That study will never happen. And it is important to note that this original study where the Wistar rats in particular lived 90% longer, none of them had any tumors. That's a dramatic impact on the physiology of the rats. So this tumor prevention was a big part inherently of why those rats lived longer.
Well, and that's kind of exciting because everybody wants to fight cancer, and the fact that I'm taking this every day gives me hope that perhaps I'll be able to fight off that terrible disease, which has taken members of my family, and I know a lot of our viewers have had to deal with it or have lost a loved one from it. Of course, this is not a definitive cure for anything like that, but it is certainly something that there's anecdotal information, data that can help support that. So
yeah. I'll add that the one piece of the study where these Wistar rats didn't have any tumors just kind of throws this molecule into the arena of potentially being a cancer preventative. And in fact, we know things as simple as good exercise, good nutrition, good sleep. By the way, our next study are actually cancer preventatives. Since I'm up and the slide's up, we are doing a sleep study. I'm going to fast forward one more. This is the results of a small trial that we did. This was a survey trial. We collected 10 days of data from participants before they started taking the product. So this is sleep data. 10 days of data while they were on it. That's the red bar. 10 days of data while they were off it, and then 10 days of data while they were back on it. So that's called a crossover study. Most important piece of this is not only good data here, but every single participant reported improvements in sleep when they were on the product. And that's why we're doing this more formalized clinical study. These are all still going to be survey study. We will be grabbing kind of Oura Ring data and maybe Whoop data wherever we can. And also even going back to migraines, there is no migraine test. There's no, headache test. There's no way to just like, hey, here's your blood test or whatever, some sort of brain scan. That would be, if there is, that would be very expensive. So it is a survey study, but these are studies that the surveys are surveys that have been approved by different medical organizations so that they do a good job of capturing the actual headache frequency and severity. The same with the sleep. So we're doing this more formalized sleep study. We're expecting good results because we have great testimonials about sleep. And it's one of our most consistent testimonials.
So one of the hardest health problems to understand, inflammation. A person may not feel it until it appears in objective testing. Why did you choose hsCRP as that primary marker? What can it reveal? Well, what kind of constant change would persuade you that ESS60 is affecting systemic resilience rather than only producing subjective reports?
Yeah, so well, I mean, we could have looked at other thing. Another one that was on the table was IL-6, interleukin-6. It's a lot more expensive to test interleukin-6, so much more cost-effective to test HSCRP. We also just have that testimonial from Dr. Young, basically saying, hey, across his patient pool, he didn't care if you were male, female, pre-surgery, post-surgery, if you had cardiovascular disease, if you were otherwise healthy. He was seeing that our product was reducing elevated HSCRPs, and he actually mentioned 9, and I'll talk about that in a second, down to 0.9, so under 1 is kind of advised levels in 4 to 8 weeks. 9, I had a conversation with a oncologist subject to that. After I had that conversation with Dr. Young, the oncologist said, if you have a HSCRP of 9, we just assume you have cancer until we prove otherwise. That's how inflamed that particular body is. So we've got that testimonial. We've got the peer-reviewed published research on reducing HSCRP in beagles. So that just, and it's an inexpensive blood marker to look at. So that's why we settled on HSCRP.
That's remarkable. Patty, millions of people spend enough time in bed and still wake up exhausted, unfocused, unrestored. What are users consistently telling you about sleep, energy, mental focus, and how will this formal study distinguish the, quote, I think I sleep better from a repetitive improvement in sleep quality and next day function?
We have had such consistent testimonials across the board about sleep. It's just been nonstop, as well as about improved headache problems. It's on a regular basis. And sleep, needless to say, is mandatory for everything else to work, for our body to function, for our mind and hearts to function. Since I've been taking the product, I sleep like a log. I don't even think about falling asleep, probably because I take this in the morning and I just go hard all day, so I'm exhausted by night, and I'm like down like a lead balloon. But I think that it is one of the biggest problems for people now, and it has a lot to do with how much we're online. Our brains are wired with all this technology. A lot of people are kept awake for that reason, too much online activity or TV, whatever. But with EVO, you've got a lot more control of your brain with 2 million mitochondria being cleaned. And Chris talks a lot about the big scientific words I wanted to simplify, which is what we're doing is we're detoxing our cells. And the cells are full of mitochondria, which gives us energy. And if our cells are all clogged up, we're going to feel clogged. So once we start detoxing with this product every day, you'll notice the difference quickly. And the first place we notice it is in our thinking. Because when you've got 2 million that are being detoxed, you're going to really feel the difference, at which point I want to pull up the very large bottle.
Oh, I love that. That's my favorite bottle right there.
Isn't it?
That's the one.
I think we're sending you another one.
Oh! I'm about halfway through mine right now.
Well,
it sits on my nightstand, and it's funny because I have this wooden nightstand, and I have like a little like hand towel underneath it, because I started getting like little oil rings and that kind of thing. And then it's a funny story. So because I've been using it for so much time, that little towel has collected, just some of the drops. And my wife, she's telling me the other day she did that. Yeah, she went over and she like kind of just touched the towel, and she put it on her nails, and she kind of just like put it on. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, that's the towel. She's like, no, this stuff's working. This is great stuff, what it's doing. And it's just funny how, like, and I get worried when I see like a little drop go down. I'm like, oh, sure. I'm wasting it, but then my wife's like, she found a way to like make it work. I'm like, this is great. So,
that's fun. Well, yeah. You're not any different than me in the beginning, because it's not a cheap product. And I don't want to waste any either. Every time I fill a spoon, I'd wipe the lip of the bottle, and then I'd take the spoon and I'd wipe it, so you're not alone. Your wife's not alone.
Okay.
No, I don't want to waste anything. And Chris, describe one drop of EVO, if you would, to this
Well,
Brilliant.
well, hang on that point though. So, okay, so last night before I'm going to bed, I put the two in one cream. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Advanced facial
Yes,
serum.
yes.
So the
Okay,
Youth Renew Duo.
the Youth Renew Duo. So I actually had it. It was on my in my studio bathroom, and I put the drops of the main product into my hand, and then I reached for the bottle that has the blue cream in it, and I started
Okay.
pumping, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. And I squeeze it. I'm like, oh wait, where is it? I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm sitting there in my bathroom, and I'm holding like a palm full of the
Oil.
of the oil, right? And I'm
The
like,
activator, yep.
and I'm like, I don't want to tip it over. So I figured out how to open up the bottle, and I looked inside. I'm like, oh, there's still a little bit in there, but the squeezy part can't get it. So I started to slam it down on my bathroom counter. Okay, now mind you, it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning, so it's like, I work late because I never sleep because I'm always trying to figure out the next news cycle or whatever, or the next YouTube suppression anti-warfare tactic, and I'm slamming it down, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. I got some, and it was on the counter, and I like wiped it up with my finger, put it into my hand, put it, and I got it on my face because the other bottle is in my master bathroom. So I just didn't have access to it, and I'm sitting there holding this cup of oil in my hand. And okay, anyway, that's
Yes, I think he's telling us he wants another
Yeah,
pair
yeah,
of
yeah. On its way.
Youth
I
Renew.
noted.
Noted. Yeah, we take care of you. Yeah, the facial serums that we do are incredible, and the reason we do them was because of me doing this and wiping it. And when Chris met me, I had just finished a 10-year career being a Harley chick. I rode a very big Harley, and when it was filled up with gas, it was 800 pounds. I don't know what else.
okay. Next interview, you bring a picture, and we're gonna show everybody the Harley chick.
Well, I was actually, somebody asked me if I'd be in their book, so I'm in the Women of Harley book also.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. They said, okay, did you drive here? And I said, duh, and yeah. So I got put in the book with my curls and my bike, and
Well,
yeah.
let's go. All right, next interview. That's gonna be on the
Oh,
thumbnail.
okay. Well, I was the only untattooed, I was the only super clean biker chick. And I'd get up there and look at the photo albums of the tattoos and piercings of these riders.
Oh yeah.
And I was so timid. I was just like, oh, really?
Wow.
But I did put my Harley in Sturgis a few times. So
Oh
yeah.
wow. That must
Oh
have been
no, I
wild.
did. I did 50,000 miles in 10 years. Everything I do hardcore. And today was interesting. I called my mom, who's 97, and I just said, Mom, I don't know how you do it. You get up every day, you function. She even has perfect nails and hair. Like she goes to the beauty shop at 97. She
Wow.
gets her nails done. I forgot to mention that in any show until today. She's just freaking phenomenal. I said, You're my inspiration. Oh, don't be inspired. I don't run anymore and I hardly get out. I'm like, You're 97. I'm 73, and I'm like, I wake up and go, come on, join me. It's hard being older when you've done heavy duty things. And so mom goes, Patty, the things you've done to your body. And I'm like, oh, don't start that memory thing. And then she went down this list of
Oh no.
really horrific. I mean, I horseback rode like a maniac. And anyway, I've been thrown once, but again,
Wow.
I look back and I go, how did I live through those half dozen things? But when Chris met me, I was in a bucket. I had just been poisoned by an idiot human, and that was more serious than being bucked off a horse or riding a Harley to Sturgis, and joining the Hells Angels for a week. Oh no,
Wait. Okay. All right.
I did not know this.
I didn't realize this was turning into a confessional here.
oh yeah, I will have.
So Patty Greer was a member of the Hells Angels for
No.
7 days.
No, I wasn't a member. I rode to Sturgis with a girl with long red hair, and we got there the first night. She goes, my dream come true. And I said, what? She goes, just smile. And I'm like, I am smiling. What are you talking about? She goes, oh my God, there's so many of them. And I'm like, all I see is Hell's Angels. Who you? She goes, I've seen every book I've seen every movie. I'm like, no, 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 no. And I was like, don't do this to me. And sure enough, one of them comes over and she fell in
Uh-oh.
love. And so I was invited to ride with them for the next 5 days, which I was
Wow.
like, no way. I was a brand new rider. I'd been riding less than a year. And sure enough, I was like, oh, Tina, I'm going to tell you one time. If you see me do this, it means you've got 2 seconds to get on the back of mine because I'm leaving. I got kids, I got a life, and it was one of the strangest predicaments I'd been in, and I was so wrong. We were with the older guys that have already done all that, they've already proven. None of them drank, none of them did drugs, and what I got was at 80 miles an hour. He snapped, he pointed at my position, row two, right side, 4 rows behind me of two guys each. I'm like, you don't even know me. Why would you put me in row two? What if I can't ride? Okay, and they just said, hunker down over the tank, go for it. And I did it.
Wow.
And I wasn't even doing Evo back then. But again, I look at my body today and just to survive, like none of those things harmed me. It was humans that didn't like the truth getting out.
You know,
That's
I could
me.
tell you, you know, just briefly. I know we're kind of on a sidebar here because I want to get to the next slide, but that your story reminds me of when I was younger and I went on my first date with my wife, and we went to Northwestern University, and George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic were playing in the gymnasium, and I was tracking the. She asked to go on stage. She wanted to go up on stage with George Clinton. So I tracked down the stage manager and I asked if my girlfriend could go on stage. And a certain, I don't know if it was Atomic Dog or whatever song it was playing, We Want the Funk or something. And all of a sudden she goes up on stage and she's dancing with George Clinton on stage. So after the concert, they invited us onto the tour bus and they invited us to travel with them to Indiana to the Star Plaza Theater for their next show. So we went from Northwestern University to traveling on the tour bus with George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic, hanging out at load-in at the Indiana Star Plaza Theater, full reign of the entire empty venue, and that developed into a long friendship with the George Clinton and Parliament. So whenever they came to town, they gave us a call. We hung out with them backstage at the House of Blues or wherever they were playing. We'd go back to their hotels where they would be doing things that we can't speak about on camera or ingesting things that you just can't speak about on camera. But it just reminds me of those wild times. I'm sorry.
Oh
But
no, it's great. Okay, Chris,
yeah.
confess.
Okay.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite thing?
Yeah, so I studied engineering, and in engineering school, we didn't have much fun. So yeah, these are
Okay, so no, here, this is. I'll fix this. There was a movie in the 1980s, and I think it was called Real Genius. Yeah,
Yep.
that movie, Real Genius, is actually based on Chris's life. It's a true story. So if you don't know, that whole movie is actually based on Chris's life. So
Yeah,
We
I
need a
didn't think
film.
anybody knew that. You are so investigative. It's impressive.
well, that's what I do. That's my job. You know.
He's not going to speak because you said that. Chris is going to be very excited to be called that. Okay, go on, Chris. Let's hear what you did that was maybe naughty.
Well, no, no. I have had a very tranquil life. Period. I haven't ridden a Harley. I've wanted to ride a Harley. I've okay. So if we want to look at kind of things that I've done that are outside of the norm, played semi-professional soccer. I played soccer in a World Cup stadium at one point.
That's cool.
I have patents in explosives, downhole oil and gas explosives, and actually pressed explosive charges before while I was working just outside of the Naval Aeronautical Weapons Station in your current California. That was kind of cool. So working directly with a naval weapons expert. I helped a friend of mine get a Guinness Book of World Record, get a record. So he did the most number of TV-style interviews in a 24-hour period. The previous record was 73. He did 175 or so. I was kind of the co-host of that for a 24-hour period.
Wait, were you guys awake for straight 24 hours, like
Yep.
nonstop?
Well, or because you got to get prepped and you got to show up and
Wow.
whatever. But yeah, it was that was a cool experience, right? Like he's a good friend of mine, and he's one of the guys who does this thing. He actually has a key to one of the cities, local cities around Houston. So basically, when he calls me up, it's like, "Hey, I'm thinking of this." I'm like, "Yeah, let's try that." Like I don't even know whatever we're doing, I'm in because it's going to be a lot of fun.
I love friends
And
like that.
yeah, yeah. So so I do some fun stuff.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Okay.
All right. We're good. All right. But the movie is still based on your life. All right. And anyone who gets that reference knows exactly what I'm talking about. Even the character could resemble totally could be you.
Yep.
I
But
want to say,
just be careful around lasers and popcorn is the only thing I can say. Patty, you were going to say?
yeah, before I forget, all of a sudden, my teeth are really white. And I am not bleaching. I did waste $1,100 a year and a half ago at my dentist, and I did the torturous thing all night long. Nothing worked.
Right. And
All
then your
of a
teeth are
sudden-
like tingling and everything. Yeah, you get the shocks. I know, yeah.
But you want nice white teeth when you're on the air. So Chris mentioned that an expert, had said that when you gargle or you gargle in your teeth, the C60 olive oil, you're going to start seeing whiter teeth. And all of a sudden, every time I'm on a show, I'm like, huh.
Well, that's what I do every morning. Is so like when I take my C60 EVO in the morning, 2 teaspoons. I immediately put it in my mouth when I wake up, and I let it sit in my mouth. I let it sit under my tongue. I let it saturate my teeth and my gums, and I hold it there. I'll hold it there for, 30, 40, 50 seconds, a minute, just so I have like full, complete absorption. And, I guess I'm doing something good.
I swish because
I'll swish it too, yeah.
I want to push it through my teeth because I'm not much of a flosser. So it's so lubricating that it's going to kind of move particles also, most likely. I can't say it does because we're not allowed to. It must be a coincidence that a lot of people are saying, huh, my teeth are getting white because I swish. So as you take your spoonful, don't do that minute long, which then you have to spit it out, the oil pulling. We don't want to do that, but that's a great thing also. Not with your expensive EVO. You want to just do a couple swishes to get it all through your gums and teeth. But my dentist recently, they go and they measure, how far your
Oh,
gums.
yeah.
Mine started going up. They're not going up anymore since I've been swishing.
Wait, did you say they're going up?
Huh?
The numbers are going up?
Down. Like I have better gums than I did 2 years ago because I've been swishing with the EVO.
Oh my
Now, I
God.
can't say that it's CUREING
Yeah.
anything because we're not
Yeah.
allowed to. But wow, what a coincidence that me and a
Okay.
bunch of people are. And that's kind of why we're doing all these trials.
Yeah.
So that
Well, that's what happens when I go to the dentist. They put the thing in my tooth, and they're measuring how deep the gum socket or whatever goes, and they score it and all those things. So, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, there's not enough data for me to look at right now since the last time, but I should probably I'll pay closer attention to that next time and see if there has been a material change. So, anyway,
Wouldn't
testimony.
surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, well that's good to know because when I don't want to have any more like gum deterioration or bone loss. That's my problem. I don't get cavities. I get like the bone loss part of it for whatever reason. I guess that's just the thing. I want to jump to your next chart. It follows an on-off pattern. Participants are measured before using the product, while using it, after stopping, and after beginning. Why is that crossover design important, and how can it help separate a genuine repeatable effect from expectation, routine changes, or random variation?
Well, crossover studies, and this is the one that you don't even need to pull it up, it's just a bunch of bars. But crossover studies where you are cycling on and off of a product, it has a couple benefits when you're doing some experimentation. One of them is if you had different people that you were experimenting with, you've got different physiologies and they can react differently. What you're looking for here is like, hey, how does this particular physiology, this person, this N of one person, how does their physiology react prior to taking the product? How does it react on it? How does it react back off of it? And then how does it react back on it? I will say we've got some data in the literature that suggests this molecule clears out of your system in about 10 days. We've got some testimonials that really support that. You might notice this yellow one is actually when they go off of the product. So blue on, never tried the product, red on the product for 10 days, yellow off the product for 10 days. And you can see that consistently the yellow is better. That is because we probably should have extended this crossover study out to maybe 20 days. Now that starts to get problematic to get people to fill out surveys for 20 days each, right? So that'd be 24, that'd be 80 days total. But yeah, you can see it's a little bit typically when they go off the product, the collection, the average of the 10 days is a little bit lower than when they were on it and definitely higher than when they had never tried it before. And that's the value, the crossover value is, hey, we're getting some information about on and off the product with individuals as opposed to trying to have to compare and contrast different people.
Now, Patty, we did touch briefly on the facial creams, and the we're talking about beauty. I want to look good on camera, but the beauty industry is obviously full of flattering lighting, filters, subjective before and after pictures. If the Skin Renew Duo is going into a formal study, how will you objectively measure glow, age spots, visible skin change, so people can trust the result rather than simply being shown another marketing image? And like we kind of touched on a previous interview, we're talking about topical working from the outside. Will there also be a group that's going to be doing it from both inside and out?
I think both will be the target because when you take it on the inside, you're improving your mitochondria. When you put it on your outside, you're improving your skin mitochondria. So there's cells everywhere. What we want to do is a thorough concentration so that we can get the maximum results that most people would. Chris and the lab kind of laughed at me when I started wiping the spoon and putting it on my face because they were, a bunch of guys in a lab and they were thinking, science, just, the edible oil. But I was seeing a huge difference in my Harley skin. I was like, my God, my skin is softening, and all I'm doing is wiping the lid of the bottle and the spoon. So then I started taking the bottle and rubbing this on my face.
Wow.
And I called the guys and I said, we got to do a facial serum. It is making a difference. And of course, 3 guys in a lab were like, yeah, just what we want to do. And now most shows, Chris has me talking about the formula, and you and him will be putting it on. Like it's mostly men, our testimonials, that are just loving it because all you guys are doing, on air 5-6 days a week. It does matter what your skin looks like.
Well, and you know what, Patty? When I'm scrolling and, it's late at night, maybe I'm just hitting Facebook, and Facebook knows everything about me, right? They know my age, they know where I live and all the things that, different supplements I might be taking. I get a lot of ads for men my age who are trying to look better. Whether it's, gray hairs or whether it's a peptide or whether it's, something of that nature. So, it is something that men my age, I'm 49, we do care about. We do want to continue our youthful look, and that's something that I'm appreciative that you guys continue to send me this stuff so I can stay young looking and beautiful and just gorgeous and handsome.
Just gorgeous. Well, preventative is the ticket. If you can do something on the regular basis for your health and your body and your skin, you're going to see it. If you do it occasionally, like when I send complimentary gifts to people, they don't take it as seriously as if they had purchased it because they saw one of our shows. But when they start, I usually get a phone call, wait, I thought you were exaggerating. Like, no, that's why I gave it to you. A lot of people don't realize that there are breakthrough remedies still happening, still hidden. We all know
my wife's probably gonna divorce me over what I'm about to say.
Oh no.
So here's what I have to tell you. You know what? She would do Botox injections, okay, and she wouldn't do them very often. She would not do like an insane amount, but she stopped doing them since she has started the Youth Renew Duo. She stopped.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
she doesn't need it. She doesn't need the Botox.
Well, and I know you rave about her beauty, and I'm just letting her know he raves about you. So I did bring it to the lab, and finally they said yes. And we invented the advanced facial serum as the first one. It's a fantastic product. Smells like rosemary oil, a base of chia seed oil, which I don't know any other facial product that does. But the lady that was my formulator has written more than 20 books on raw foods. Rawsome, raw is the law. Brigitte Mars, fabulous. So that product is excellent. It's all natural. And the guys finally gave in at the lab, and we just sell the crap out of it. I mean, we sell the heck out of it. And all of a sudden, the guys at the lab were experimenting with this peptide called UTH29, Youth 29. And they found that it also had 30 years of experiments done on it to prove that it really does improve probably the mitochondria again, but it improves the look of your skin and hair and nails. I mean, everything. Peptides, needless to say, are good for many things. So Chris calls me about 2 years after we started the facial serum, and he says, well, I've got a confession. We've been experimenting. I'm like, confess? Hey, if you've got something, that works just as well or better, let's go. So now we have two facial serums. One is all natch, and the other one is all natch, but it's two products. You've got the activator oil, which is very much like this one, plus an additional bottle, which is the blue peptides, copper
Yeah,
peptides.
and that's the one that I was slamming on my bathroom counter to get the last few drops out of it.
Oh, I've been known to do a
Yeah,
few slams. Yeah.
yeah,
If it's not good, why not? At least you didn't have to break
yeah.
the
Well, that just
bottle with
it
a
just proves
hammer.
like I wanted it. I didn't want to have to scoop it out, but I got it, and because
I'll
I know that it's effective.
I'll tell you one of the funniest returns we've ever had in our 7 years is a lady says, "Oh, UPS ran over my box and I got it, all the oil spilled out." And so we said, "We'll send you another bottle." She writes back, "Oh, thank you so much. I will admit that I took the box and I've been rubbing it on my body
That's so
from the
funny.
inside out." I mean, she didn't waste a drop, kind of like you with the towel.
That's so
You
funny.
know,
That's amazing.
people really relish things that make a difference. And we're not up here spouting science and testimonials to make noise. We're doing it because frickin' stuff saved my life. I am walking testimonial. Chris met me. Two people tried to kill me because I used to make UFO movies that told the truth. I didn't know you're supposed to lie back then. Um, I still won't lie today, but they tried to take me out twice, and Chris met me in a bucket. I was just like, and they flew me down, and we became partners very quickly. But 4 days before they flew me down, I was rushed to the emergency room in an ambulance. I've been through it from the uranium poisoning. And 4 days later, I got on a plane and met my new partners, and they had no idea what I'd been through. But the resilience that we get with this product, the endurance, mind boggling. So, for people that are athletic, great preventative. You know you've got a race tomorrow or the next day, hit it. You know you're going on a hike with some people that might show you up, you don't want to, hit it. It's like the secret advantage. And my secret is the big bottle.
Oh, that's
I
my
like
favorite.
having a big
Yeah.
bottle around, 32 ounce. I pet it sometimes. But you know, you won't run out as quick as you will with the 4 ounce, but most people prefer a 4 ounce bottle for the sake of budget. We have 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 16 and 32. But
Yeah,
because
but
I
the cost savings on the big bottle and how long you have it. I mean, it far outweighs. If you can pay for it. At the moment, you're going to save so much money. And that's when people can go to c60evo.com/NNN. You see it on your screen there. That is where you can get the exclusive savings. There's me at the White House right there. as seen on the Next News Network. And I want to, before we, well, unless you want to show some of the savings now, I did want to ask real quick about the 3-month journey. So I'll let you guys,
Well, let's cover that real quick.
Yeah, because we're up against the clock right now, and I know you guys are too. So,
I
go
can
ahead.
keep it super simple. Really, we break down the experience on the product month 1, focus and energy, kind of, and this is parallel with our most consistent testimonial of people taking the product in the morning, reporting mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. So we've got focus and energy in month 1. We've got deeper sleep in month 2. I really think deeper sleep is happening in month 1, but it takes a little while to recognize that the deeper sleep is because you're taking C60 EVO. And then really month 3 is these powerful, if you think about reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria, when you reduce the negative impact of stress mitochondria, you should have systemic benefits, and those are the systemic benefits that are causing us to have to run these studies so we can start talking about those very concrete benefits. So excited. We do think about the journey on the product as a 3-month journey.
Okay, so real quick, when can we expect the results from these studies?
So we're hoping. We've got some technical challenges. Frankly, we got to redo our entire website in order to be able to get this to work with the vendor that we're working with that makes this more cost effective. And so we're hoping into this year, beginning of next year, to start it. And at that point, we're just it depends on what the enrollment looks like. It depends on, how long we end up running this. I can see us actually running this because at some point you'd like to have, 10,000 participants, etc. Well, that would take a very long time. So it'll probably be a situation where we're releasing bits of data as we move on.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's really amazing. I look forward to having the results and being able to report on them. And if you could pull up that slide real quick so people can see some of the costs, savings that they would be receiving here.
Look at the mustache guy.
Look at that guy. Look at that guy. Who's that guy?
He looks like he uses an EVO lotion.
He does. Actually, he looks like he takes EVO. And his flag looks like my shirt, so I like him.
I'm
So
standing
this
at Caroline Levitt's podium right there. And
That's
I
super.
love her. Okay, so it's C60 EVO, like evolution.com/NNN. And if you go there, you're going to light up this page, which gives you discounts that we don't offer on our website. They're only for Gary's viewers. And this is how we are honoring the 3-month process. We're giving deals. If you buy 2 bottles, you get a discount. If you buy 3, you get an even better discount. 6, you get an even better discount. And if you sign up for a monthly subscription, you will save even more. So our monthly our monthly sales are more than half of our sales per month, because once people start on the sub and save money, they usually don't stop taking the product. And we have a funny joke around the lab that when people do quit, we totally honor it. We usually see them, within about 10 days. Once it wears off, they're like, I do miss that added energy. And then the very best deal is if you buy a case of 12, you're going to get 25% off, and that's a stupendous offer. When people say, where should I start? I've never tried C60 EVO. We recommend the Inside and Out Starter Set, which is the 2 products we've been talking about, the Advanced Facial Serum and the Organic Olive Oil with ESS60, 2 ingredients, tremendous for the inside and the out. And if you take these 2 products and use them for a week, I'd be surprised if we don't hear from you with some kind of smile. So again, the 2 deal, if you get 2 of the sets, you're going to save money. 3, you'll save even more. 6, you'll save even more. And if you get a case of 12, you will save 25% off. But anything that you buy, you're going to want to sign up for a monthly subscription, and there's no obligation. If you call or send us an email, we'll drop your subscription immediately and not even ask questions. But it will save you money every month. The other thing that we have as our top seller is the capsules, which is the olive oil again. If people don't want to take it on a spoon and taste our strong, delicious organic olive oil, you will do the capsules. And they are great for travel because the TSA will not take them out of your luggage.
Well, that's what I take with me on trips to the White House to make sure I can maintain, and they're lifesavers for real.
Dang, I'm so jealous. You get to go to the White House.
It's cool.
That is really impressive. And I do brag about you going to the
Oh.
White House. I mean, for me, I don't want to hear people's perceptions if they really aren't firsthand. You're in
Yeah.
there. Bless you. I think it's awesome. So, again, we've got the 236 dozen offer, which is a case. The more you buy, the less you spend. And if you sign up for a subscription, you're going to get it monthly. Or if you want the 3-pack, you'll get it every 3 months. So, say you're in Europe or you're in Canada and you don't want to deal with the duties, this is a great idea to buy 2, 3, 6, 12 at a time. So you only pay the shipping and the duties once. People ask, do you ship to Belgium or Ireland or whatever? We ship everywhere. So you don't have to ask, just place your order and we will get it shipped to you. And you can always call our customer service department. They've got over 1,000 5-star reviews, the nicest people. They can answer every question you throw at them. If not, they will send it to Chris and he'll get right back to you. So we are probably one of the only supplement companies that is doing a lot of experimenting and reading the testimonials, reading the energy of our audience so that we can deliver what it is you guys want. And needless to say, we also make a body cream because you guys wanted it. And it is so good.
Well, Patty, Chris, thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing the results.
Thank you,
Us
Gary.
too. Thank you. Stay well.
So for years, people have shared the stories, and now comes the test. 4 studies, 4 measurable outcomes, and 1 question. Does the evidence hold up? If it does, the critics will have some explaining to do. If it doesn't, viewers deserve to know that too. And we're going to follow the studies and the results. You can learn more, and you can support this network by going to c60evo.com/NNN. You're not just supporting this network, you're also supporting your health. I'm Gary Franchi. Thank you for watching.